they're the ones that are advocating for their warriors. If their warriors have full-time jobs, they're the ones that stand up on their warriors and say, hey, you need to get to your VA appointment. You need to stay enrolled with the VA. You need to worry about your claim. You need to focus on your claim and see where that's going. Okay, so one thing that is very important about this effort is making sure you're aware of what we do, how we do it, and why. Okay, so real quick, who in here who's participated in another program with Wounded Warrior Project? All right, what program?
That was the ice fishing one a couple years ago.
I can't hear you.
Ice fishing?
Ice fishing? Okay. So one of the events is the alumni event. So that's the team I sit on now. So ice fishing, for example, all right, that falls under the alumni team. So that objective is to get you out, just like today, this is an alumni event, is to get you out in your local area, participating in something, engaging. And we try to get you to engage with other warriors. Who here met another warrior today? Okay, who engaged with your families? Who brought their family today? All right, and engage in your community. Okay, so that's why we do the community service-based projects, Habitat for Humanity, Mission Continues, Operation Homefront, Team Rubicon, Team Red, White, and Blue. Those are all of our partners. American Red Cross. So that's why we do the community service events that you guys can sign up for too. There's a big Motown muster going on in Detroit where we're going to be there for 4 days, helping rebuild a neighborhood in poverty. Okay, and if you guys were interested in coming out and participating, it should be on the post within the next week or so if it's not already on there now. All right, so that's one event. Okay, what about another event? Anybody else participate in anything else?
Independent program?
Okay, the Independence program. The Independence program is designated for warriors who have moderate to severe traumatic brain injuries. Okay, what it does is it focuses on your unique daily life, what you're going through on a daily. Like, let's say, for example, with a traumatic brain injury, you don't feel confident with operating a lawnmower, then we pay for you to have your grass cut. If you have to learn how to read again, or learn how to read again, we pay for tutors to come and counsel you and give you opportunities and kind of show you, and we'll base that all around your education plan, and it's based on the individual. If it's an IP program for your caregiver, let's say you need 24-hour care, all right, we not only make sure that your caregiver is available for the insurance that they deserve. A lot of people might not know this, but when a caregiver or a mom or a wife finds out that their husband or their wife has been medically evacuated, life stops. Everything stops. Okay, their job stops, their insurance stops, their benefits stops, and they have to literally pick up and relocate to Walter Reed, BAMC, Balboa, and they have to spend sometimes years next to a hospital bed. All right, our objective is to make sure that we can bring them back to a new norm too. Okay, to give them the best and most successful lifestyle that they can possibly have. All right, so anybody else from another program?
I use Wounded Warriors in my case manager.
Okay, so this is a really big important one, and this is probably one of the programs that most people aren't aware of. Who knows what a POA is?
Power of attorney. Power of attorney.
That means that they not only advocate for your claim, okay, to make sure that you're getting the best for your injuries or any of your services that you're getting through the VA, but they also rule that entire margin. The Wounded Warrior Project has been essentially, without being too cocky, we're essentially the #1 biggest ball busters. We call congressmen, we call senators, and we make them do their fucking jobs. Okay, and we do it all the time. All right. The reason that this is such an important thing is because the VA is changing. Everybody getting these emails from the VA and getting the newsletters and seeing this stuff in the news. This is the big thing. The VA is changing their policies. They're changing the way that they deal with individuals with mental health. The ratings or the scales themselves are changing. They're being stricter at the VBA. Everybody knows what the VBA is. They're the ones that process your claim. The VHA is where you go to get health care. Okay? The VBA is its own entity, its own organization. And unfortunately, if you've been to one VBA, you've been to one VBA. They're nothing alike. The one in Texas isn't the same one up here in Ann Arbor, and they don't speak the same language. So if you were treated in Texas, or you got out of service in Lewis, or you got out of service down in Knox, and you were going up here to go VBA, they might not even speak the same language. A herniated disc and a cell wall rupture is the exact same thing, but it doesn't sound the exact same thing. It might not look the same on their claim the way they evaluate it. So that's something you might want to consider. Okay, so our senior benefits liaisons, I think right now we're up to 28 of them across the country. They are not hired. We recruit them. We go to the very best and we say, hey, we want you to come on and join this team. So that's definitely something, if anybody's interested in the benefits, okay, that's the name of the program, is benefits, okay? Okay, so anybody else participate in any other programs? Jesse?
I did the Soldier Ride and the Writers Guild.
Okay, Soldier Ride. Soldier Ride is amazing, amazing. I've done 2 of them. Right when I got hurt in '08, I went to Concord, up in Connecticut area, where the shot was heard around the world, where our country first started. We all started off, there's 40 of us. We all fitted for bicycles, recumbents, adaptive cycles, road bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes, mountain bikes, recumbents, and hand cycles. Whatever stipulations you might need, even if you just want to try it out. I mean, if there are people out here that they're like, man, you know, my legs aren't what they used to be, and they can handle a hand cycle, then we want you to come out and try it and see what you think. All right? Those are 100% free. We fly you out. We put you up in a hotel for 3 or 4 days, and then we take care of everything from there, program briefs and everything like that. And the goal there is that everyone starts at the same place and everybody finishes at the same place. And it's really, honestly, personally, it's an emotional thing too for me. Okay, because it reminds me of doing 5Ks on base. And it's amazing. Okay, so with that being said, we have another program. I don't know if anybody's participated in it, called Project Odyssey. All right, Project Odyssey is based around combat stress recovery. Notice I did not say PTSD. All right, I don't believe in that acronym. I think it's classified. I think it's classified to destroy the confidence that you already have going into it, knowing that something like this could be a reality for you long term. We call it combat stress. Okay, and the idea there is that combat stress recovery. All right, we build on best practices. We have people that have served in clinical positions before. Okay, don't get me wrong. We have people that are former psychiatrists and psychologists on our staff. They do not operate in that fashion at all. What they do is they build on best practices. Something that I learned, you know, dealing with PTSD versus something that another warrior deals with. I could very well give him information to say, hey, this is how I dealt with it, and it helped me out greatly. All right, so you do these Project Odysseys. They're weekend retreats. They're either all male, they're all female. And then once you go through an all male or an all female, you can do the couples if you're married or if you have a spouse. So that's something else to consider. You are not sitting around a fire singing Kumbaya, holding another soldier's hand and telling them that everything's going to be okay. When we all know that sometimes the truth is not everything is going to be okay. All right. The idea is to build on best practices. All right, and talk about what it looks like for you and what it's going to look like for you in the future. All right. We already know what the worst days of our lives look like, all right? And there might be more to come, all right? But we know so far up to this point in our lives that we can't put Band-Aids on flesh wounds, all right? We can't forget what happened, and we could spend the rest of our lives trying to make the people that are the real heroes, the ones that didn't come home, we can't spend the rest of our lives trying to make them proud of us, okay? So we need to figure out a way to advocate for each other and stick together as a veteran community, because believe you, when I say this, I've got a Vietnam father, I've got an uncle who was in the first Gulf War, I've got several friends that have served in Somalia. This is unique to our generation, all right? There are people that talk about doing things, there are people who make it happen, all right? And that's the 2 types of people in this world, all right? So the biggest goal that I have when it comes to these types of events is, one, I want everybody here to have a good time, first off. All right, and I hope everybody did. Everybody have a good time? Yep. All right. I want everybody here to have a good time. But secondly, I want everybody here to meet other warriors that live local to you and do the same things you do. Might have family, might not. Might be living a single life, going to school, might have a job similar to you. Might just be into the same stuff that you're into. Okay. Who in here likes pulling triggers? All right. All right. Who in here likes going to sporting events? Who in here likes doing wilderness stuff?
Who likes going to strip clubs?
Thank you, Jesse. That better not be on the video. And then, but the idea is to create these communities within themselves and give us a chance that when I say, you know, hey, I'm going to come do an event in Michigan, that I don't get what's happened the last 4 or 5 times that we've been up to Michigan, which is we've got a lot of no-shows, a lot of people who don't answer the emails, don't answer the calls, but they register for the event. That all affects everybody at Wounded Warrior Project, but it also affects the warriors, because then, you know, I got a boss. Everyone's got a boss. Then he's like, well, you know, if you go up there and you do a zip lining event for 50 people and 22 people show up, I don't want you doing a zip lining event anymore. Who in here who would take their kids to zip lining or take their kids out to dinner and do a ropes course up in Bloomfield? Okay, so these are things that are fun to do, and we want to give you the chance to do them, and we want to do them, provide them 100% free, bring out a lunch and stuff like that, and everybody have a good time. But in order to do so, the communication has to go both ways. All right, so another program that we have, I don't know if anybody's aware of this either, is our Warriors to Work program. Anybody in here ever looking for a job?
I've been trying to get in contact with them for 2 years now.
Okay, and how are you trying to get in contact with them?
I talked to someone and they said they would have them email me and never did.
What's that?
I called and talked to somebody and they said they'll have them get in contact with me and never did.
Okay, all right. Do we have all your valid information? Include your phone number?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, then get with me offline, and I'll make sure that I have the right information in there. So with the Warriors to Work program, we have something like 600 employers calling us a month, trying to get in with us to find out how they can hire our Warriors. It's a minority requirement for a lot of them, but a lot of them really just genuinely want to hire military. If I say to you, hey, I need to get this done, first objective is like, well, then I need to get it done. Believe me when I say, like, there's a lot of people out there that want to hire wounded warriors. The Warriors to Work staff are located in most regional offices. There isn't one in Cincinnati yet, but right now you guys are covered underneath the Chicago office anyway, so you should be pretty good there. And then there's another program called the Transition Training Academy. If anybody is in here is interested in medical coding certification, CompT certification, Network Plus certification, A++ certification, Security Networking Plus certification. Those are all 100% free. We give you a computer, we give you the webcam, the headset, everything, so you can literally do the TTA classes remotely from your home. It's also available to your family members, okay? So they've got to be registered as family support, all right? But they got to get registered, okay? So that's another one of our programs. Again, 100% free for our warriors and their families. So typically what I do at the end is I have everybody take that sign-in sheet that I had you write your name down and